welcome. This is, I've talked about this place in videos before, and this is just one of my favorite places in the world. I don't know what it is, but when we drive in here, I immediately just feel way more relaxed, way more calm. And you just come out and sit on this deck, and there's just a peace that washes over you. It's incredible. It's really not hard to be peaceful here. It doesn't take much effort. You just relax automatically. But I've been thinking about how we can take that peace with us into other places, because it's not easy all the time to be relaxed or peaceful. When life gets in the way, peace is pretty hard to find. So I've been looking at some scripture that I just find is helping me, because I'm not the best at this. Peace is not something that I'm very good at. I get stressed super easily. And so peace is something that I really have to work on. So I want to share with you what I've been working on.
With your restless mind, 'cause I am rest in me, 'cause I am rest in me, and you will find peace.
In Matthew 8, Jesus has just been preaching and teaching and doing miracles for about 3.5 chapters, and he needs a break. I feel like I'll need a break after doing this, but he's been going for much longer, and he needs a break, so he gets on a boat with his disciples, and they set off across this lake, and then when they hit the middle of the lake, Jesus is asleep in the boat, and the disciples are making their way across, and suddenly a massive storm hits. And you got to understand, water was feared by people in those times because it was the unknown and it was super dangerous. And so to be stuck in the middle of a storm and in the middle of nature was terrifying for the disciples. But Jesus is asleep the whole time. And the disciples rush out of fear. They rush to him and they wake him up and they say, "How can you be asleep in the middle of this storm?" And Jesus, he gets up and he rebukes the storm and stops the storm. He calms it. And then he turns to the disciples and he says, "Why do you have so little faith?" This story is super interesting to me. Jesus is sleeping in the middle of a storm, completely peaceful. And when he calms the storm, he tells the disciples that they have little faith in him. They woke him up because they thought he could do something. So what is it about Jesus being in the boat asleep that is important? Because obviously him calming the storm isn't the important part. So there's a massive difference between Jesus and the disciples in this story. Jesus is asleep on the boat, perfectly at peace and rest. The disciples are freaking out and looking for help. And there's something about Jesus being asleep on the boat that I seem to feel like it's his relationship with the Father that brings him peace, where he's not afraid of what's happening around him and he's just resting. And there's something about that peace that when he wakes up and when he uses his power, it's almost like the peace that's in him comes out and affects nature and calms everything. It's an interesting thought. Can we carry peace, and can it affect things around us? That as we learn to be with Jesus, as we learn to be in relationship, we learn how to have peace, that we can actually take that and use it in our everyday lives to help bring peace to other people and situations? It's an interesting thought. But the disciples are freaking out. And when Jesus uses his power, he gets upset with them and says they have little faith. What is it? What is it that makes him say that? And why is it only at the last minute that Jesus uses his power? And I think what he's trying to teach them is that they need to have faith that he is there. And because he is there, he has the situation in hand. Because it's not about his power, but his presence. Peace comes through his presence. Power is afterwards. Power is just the reality of who he is coming to light. And it's this peace that he is trying to teach his disciples, saying, you know me. You know who I am. Relax, you're safe. Because I am in the boat. And that's what matters. So what is God trying to say in this story? Well, I think the disciples, Jesus was counting on the fact that they had built a relationship with him, that they'd learnt that he is more than just human, that he is God. And so what he was trying to say to them is that because you know me, you should have peace and reassurance knowing that you will be safe in the storm. And I think for us that can be the lesson. That as we build our relationship with him and as we intentionally seek to be peaceful with him in an easy to do that place, as we learn to do that more and more, when a storm comes, we have that relationship built in. We can do that. Because as we take a moment each day, as we find a place that we find peaceful and we relax and rest in him, we can learn to bring that into places that are a storm, that are difficult places. And they can come out of us. That peace and rest can come out of us because we have spent the time learning and being with him, the one who has everything in control. So I want to end with a little exercise to do each day. It's not hard. And it just allows us to stop and really take in who God is and to cultivate his presence, to learn where his presence is, which is everywhere, but to learn to wake up to his presence and to intentionally go after peace and be intentional about that. And so this is all you need to do. All you need to do is be sitting down with your eyes closed. And just begin to breathe in and out, in through your nose and out through your mouth, and do it very slowly. And then I want you to take notice of what your body's doing. Wriggle your toes, move your hands, relax your shoulders, get into a relaxful state, breathing in and out, in through your nose, out through your mouth. And once you've done that and your mind starts to clear, all I want you to do is ask God, what do you want to say to me today? What do you want to show me today? And just stay in that place for a while. And you'll find that you'll come out way more relaxed. You'll find that as you relax and as you start to cultivate this peace, you'll start to hear God more and more. And the better you get at doing this, the better it will be when the storms hit.
Rest in